Okay, thank you. Good evening, students. I'm sure you all would have come read with the topic, with even the further provisions, right? So yes, very, very good evening, Vanshika, Aditi, Maithili. Good morning. The message is gone. Good morning message. Okay, good evening, Karan, Surinder, Purav. Yes, everyone, very, very, very good evening. So let us start. So we are discussing place of supply. We are discussing place of supply for services. Yes. So students, we are discussing place of supply. In place of supply, we are discussing place of supply for transactions relating to service. And in that, we discussed that firstly, there are two categories. One is domestic transaction of service. The other is international transaction. Section 13 covers international transaction, which is not part of our syllabus. We discussed in detail the various provisions relating to domestic transaction of goods. And now we are discussing in detail provisions relating to transactions of service. Now, what is important to note is that section 13 and 12, what is the distinction? Now, we have called it as domestic transaction and international transaction, but Act does not use any such word. So what is the bifurcation of the Act? So the Act says that where the location of supplier and location of recipient both are within India, it is a domestic transaction, you apply section 12. Whereas where the location of supplier or location of recipient, any one of them is outside India, so it becomes an international transaction. Then you apply section 13. Now, section 12 bracket 1 is what is this point saying that where both are in India, you apply provisions of section 12. Now, 12.2 is the general rule or the default rule. This rule is applicable if you are not fitting any of the specific provisions that follow from 3 onwards. Now, what does 12.2 says? So 12.2 says, see your recipient. If your recipient is a registered person, then the place of supply is location of recipient. So whatever is the state of recipient, that state is the place of supply. Whereas where the recipient is unregistered, then you have to see, is the address of the recipient available on your records? Like we were discussing in case of our CA services, whether you have the PAN card, the Aadhaar card of the recipient on your record. If yes, again the place of supply is the location of recipient. So whatever address you have, whatever state is mentioned in that, that becomes the place of supply. But let us say someone is a walk-in client, just come for a walk-in consultancy. You're not maintaining any details of the address in your file because that is not required. In that case, the place of supply is location of the supplier itself. So by default, in this case, it will always be C plus S because location of supplier and the place of supply both are the same places. Hence, it will be intrastate always in this case, right? Then we went to our first specific service, which deals with services which are directly in connection with immobile property. Now, in that, the different types of services which are covered are first is service of different experts like architects, engineers, interior decorator, estate agents. Second, the service of renting, leasing of the property. Third, construction of the property. Then in case of properties like hotel, campsite, inn, guest house, boat, vessel, it is the lodging or accommodation in such property. Next, conducting some function in the property like organizing a marriage, organizing a big conference, and other services relating to it. And last is services which are ancillary to the above. Now we discuss examples of all this and we had detailed discussion. Sir Surinder is saying that some students are not able to join the class because they have not received the OTP or the OTP says invalid. Can you please check, sir? Surinder, can you put this message to the technical team? Thank you, madam. Yes, Aditi.
Sir, could you please just explain in short one more time this carrying out construction one, because I was not getting this.
But carrying out construction means builder. What does builder do? The builder constructs the building, na?
Okay.
So that is carrying
So,
out construction, builder service.
okay, builder services. Okay.
Yes, so builder is falling in 12.3. So when a builder is constructing any building, which may be commercial, residential, or a building like a mall, or any such immobile property structures, then what builder is doing is falling in 12.3.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Diksha.
Sir, I joined late, so please repeat
I have not
from.
yet explained anything, but I have just revised what we did in the previous class. So I just reiterated whatever was done in the previous class. Now I'm going to start the fresh part.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, many of our students are not able to join via website on laptop. It is asking for OTP, but there is some issue with OTP. But I kindly put this message to the technical team. They are looking into the issue. So kindly put it to technical team, beta.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
dear students, we have updated our portal, so it will take some time. Okay, so those students who are facing the problem, please join through knowledge portal or YouTube. Okay.
Fine. Now, students, we come to proviso of this section. Now, in fact, this proviso is based on question of someone in the last class, but I purposely did not explain it. I said that I will cover it in the next class because I did not want to confuse you all with something which is running contrary. Now, firstly, I'll take a practical example of this proviso so that you'll understand what does the proviso says. So again, let me take example. So last person who asked me the query was Diksha. Diksha, beta, where are you from?
Sir, I am from Jammu.
You are from Jammu.
Yes, sir.
Great. Fine. So Diksha is from Jammu. I am from Nashik. Now, Diksha, you have a property in Australia, Sydney. Now, let us say I am visiting Sydney for some work. So I know that Diksha is having a property there. So I contact Diksha and ask Diksha to provide me this property on rent. So basically, I'm taking this service. The service is of renting, leasing of immobile property. Now, my first question to you all students is whether I will see section 12 to decide the place of supply of this renting service, or I will go to section 13, which is for international transactions. So you may type 12 if you feel I will check this section only. You may type 13 if you feel I have to go to section 13. In the meantime, I'll just show you what is 12 and 13 again, right? So when 12, when 13. So for domestic 12, for international 13, and this is what is about 12 and 13. So let me know which section. Purav, so you're asking me or you're telling me, giving me the answer? I have given you all the facts. You have to give me the answer. So why there is question mark? If it is answer, then it should not be a question mark, na? Yes. So which section should I check for place of supply? Purav says 12, Aditi says 13, Nikunj 13, Karan 12, Vanshika 12, Aditi 13, Gayatri 12. But Aditi, is the location of recipient international? Who is the recipient of this service? It is me. Aditi, Diksha is the supplier of the service because Diksha is the owner of the property. So I am the recipient because I am going to take the service from Diksha. So property belongs to Diksha. I am going to travel to Sydney and I am going to stay in that property. So I am taking the property from Diksha. So answer is you will apply section 12, not 13. Why? Again, I repeat, domestic transaction, international transaction, this is terminology given by me, not given in the law, but just to make it simple for you to understand. And what does the law says? Where location of both the persons, both the parties is in India, you apply section 12 provisions. If any one of the parties is outside India, you apply section 13 provisions. Now, in the given facts of the case, supplier is Diksha, recipient is me. Both are from India. I am from Maharashtra. She is from Jammu. So both are India. Property is outside, but we don't see where the property is. We see where the supplier and the recipient are. Manisha, beta, there is some problem, I think, going on because we have revamped our portal. So in case you are having a problem, kindly join from the YouTube for the time being. This is what is the message in case there is a problem, right? Okay. If this is clear, then let us go to the proviso. Now, what does the proviso says? The proviso is made exactly for this example. What is the example? If the location of the immovable property or the boat or vessel is intended to be outside India. So in my case, my immovable property is outside India and we are in section 12I because both supplier recipient are from India. So what is applicable to me is this proviso to section 12.3. What it says, what will be my place of supply? The place of supply shall be, interestingly, till now we were saying what? In all these cases falling under 12.3, the place of supply is location of immovable property. This is what we were saying till now. So till now for all these transactions of immovable property, renting, construction, accommodation, everything, place of supply was location of the property. However, since now the property is outside India, place of supply is not this location. Place of supply is the location of recipient. So where I have taken the property from Diksha on rent. We both are from India. Section 12 applies, but the property is outside India. So the proviso to section 12(3) says place of supply is location of recipient. So in this case, the place of supply would be Maharashtra state. Is this clear to all students? Any doubts or queries with this? Yes. Clear? Great. Yes, Aditi.
So I have a doubt, like if you were in another foreign country which is international, so then section 13 will apply. Like Diksha will have a
Exactly.
house in Sydney or Australia. So
And let
after
us say I am
that,
from Japan.
yeah,
Let us say I am from Japan. So since
okay,
I am from, if the recipient, one of the parties is outside India, like I am outside India, place of
okay,
supply will be decided by section 13 and not by section 12.
yeah. So it will be international transaction.
Screenshot निकाला हुआ उसको भेज दो. Yes, beta. In that case, it is international transaction and the place of supply will be decided by section 13.
Okay, fine.
And in that case, the place of supply is the location of property, which is the original rule. But that is as per section 13. But we are not in 13, we are in section 12. So 12(3) proviso says the location of recipient is the place of supply. Fine, beta? Understood? Great. So let us proceed. So now there is an explanation. Again, we have discussed this explanation also in the previous class. What is the explanation dealing with? Where the immovable property or boat is located in more than one state. So if you remember this, we had discussed this. We had taken the example of boat. The boat is traveling. So one second. Now, what is the explanation dealing with? So let us say the boat is traveling from Mumbai to Goa. So it is a cruise and it is traveling Mumbai to Goa. Now, in this case, what will be the place of supply? Because you have booked 2 nights, 3 days on this cruise and the cruise is Bombay to Goa cruise. Now, in this case, what will be the place of supply? Now, as per the original rule in 12(3), place of supply is the location of the immovable property. But the immovable property or the boat is in 2 different states. Then what it says, the supply of service shall be treated as made in each of the states. But in what way? In proportion to the value of services which have to be determined in terms of contract or agreement entered into in this regard, or in the absence of contract agreement on the basis as may be prescribed. So if you remember, I had mentioned that you have to find out the days for which it was in Mumbai and for which it is in Goa. So let us say out of total 3 days, 2 days the ship is in Maharashtra, it is in the coastal waters of Maharashtra, and 1 day it is in Goa. So in this particular case, whatever is the accommodation charges, that will be apportioned in the ratio of 2:1. So let us say 1,50,000 is the accommodation charge. So you will divide it in the ratio of 2:1. So for rupees 1 lakh, Mumbai, Maharashtra is the place of supply. For rupees 50,000, Goa is the place of supply. So this is what is the explanation same. So where the immovable property boat vessel is located in more than one states, then the value has to be apportioned, has to be proportionated as per some logical base, and here the base is the number of or the period of stay. Yes, correct, Gaurav. So we discussed this in the previous class. I'm just reading it from here. Yes, students, let us proceed. Now we go to 12.4. What is 12.4? It is dealing with some specific services like service of restaurant, service of catering, service of personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services, including cosmetic and plastic surgery. Now, let us again take example of what does this section covers. So this covers restaurant, catering, then beauty treatment, personal grooming, right? Healthcare, etc. Now, what is the example? So I'll give you a simple real life practical example. So I'm taking example of one of my favorite actors from India. It is Allu Arjun. I'm sure everybody knows this person. Today, one of the topmost stars of India. Now, Allu Arjun is having a shoot, or he has signed a movie where the shoot location of Allu Arjun is, let us say, in Assam. So in Assam, the film scene is being shot, and Allu Arjun, person registered in Andhra, he is going to be there for the shoot. Now, for that shoot, he has to take different get-ups, for which he hires a famous hairstylist from India, Javed Habib. So he hires Javed Habib. Javed Habib is the supplier of the service. Let us say Javed Habib is registered in Delhi. Allu Arjun, who is from Andhra, is the recipient of the service. And what is the service? The service is personal grooming or beauty treatment, whatever you can call it. Now, in this particular case, supplier is from Delhi. Allu Arjun, who is a recipient, is from Andhra. And the location of this movie is in Assam. So Allu Arjun has asked Javed Habib to come to Assam for a week so that Javed Habib can do the hairstyling of Allu Arjun, because Allu Arjun has to take different looks in that particular scene, which will be shot in Assam. Now, in this particular case, what is the place of supply? Now, interestingly, for the first time, they have said that the place of supply is the place where the service is actually performed. Till now, it was either the recipient location or the property location. Now, for the first time, it is the place where actually the services are being performed. So, in our example, it is Assam. So, what is the rule? Place of supply is location of performance of service. So it is the place where this service is performed. Is this clear? So in this example, the place of supply will be Assam. Clear to everyone? Anybody? Any queries in this? Yes, Beta Purav.
Sir, I wanted to ask that, in this case, supplier is from Delhi and the recipient is from Andhra Pradesh, and the service is performed in Assam, and there are many other cases like such in this also. So, well, I just want to know whether the person who is paying for paying the GST, whether he is
Who is
himself
paying the
paying.
GST? Who is paying the GST in this case? You tell me.
Sir, supplier.
Exactly. So supplier is going to charge GST to Allu Arjun, collect GST
Yes,
from
sir.
Allu Arjun and pay to government. Now, what is your question?
Sir, my question is whether the supplier himself will pay in Assam or he will go back and pay in Delhi, and then government themselves will apportion it
You tell
in
me which tax Javed Habib has to pay,
IGST,
and IGST is paid to whom?
so central government.
Simple. Your role is over. Na? That is why they have made this rule that IGST fully has to be first paid to central government. Then the central government will divide it between C and S. You don't have to do that.
Yes,
The
sir.
reason is this only because IGST will be applicable whenever the place of supply is some other state.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Correct, na?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Perfect. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Diksha beta.
Sir, it is in the case of the beauty parlor also that if we take the services from the
But it is given
outside
here.
the state,
It is given
like
here. Beauty treatment. Let us say, Diksha, let us say, I'll take example. You are from Jammu, right?
yes, sir.
You come to Mumbai for some work or for, let us say, meeting your family, friends, or for attending some program. And you go to a beauty parlor in Mumbai for getting some makeup done. So in this
Yes,
particular case, what will be the place of supply? The place of
Mumbai.
supply will be the place where services are performed. Another example, let us say you go for a destination wedding to Rajasthan, and you had liked this particular Mumbai beautician. So you contact the beautician, you tell her, "Ki boss, now are you ready to come to Rajasthan for this destination wedding? Over there will be many people who would require this beauty parlor treatment done." So she agrees. She comes to Rajasthan. Now, same example what I took of Allu Arjun is in your case. You are the recipient. You are from Jammu and Kashmir. Supplier is from Mumbai. And where this beauty treatment is being carried out, it is being carried out in Rajasthan, the location where the destination wedding is. Correct? So what will be the place of supply? In this revised example of mine, it will be the place where services are performed. So it will be Rajasthan. So Gaurav, you are saying if surgery is taken in Korea, firstly, surgery is done by doctor from which place, beta? Gaurav? So in your case, where is the supplier? The supplier is from Korea only. Correct, na? So we will anyways not see section 12, we'll see section 13. It will not happen, na? That doctor and patient both are from India and they will go to Korea and the doctor will perform the surgery on the patient in Korea. So if you are going to Korea, the probability is that you are taking the surgery or the treatment from doctor or hospital of Korea. So the supplier is Korea. Perfect, understood. So in that case, section 13 will get triggered, 12 cannot happen. So this rule will not apply. Is subsection 4 clear, students? Then you come to subsection 5. Now what is 5 dealing with? It deals with which type of service? Services which is in relation to training and performance appraisal. Right? So let me give you an example. So 12.5, service in relation to now, let us take an example. There is a company from Delhi. It wants to conduct a GST workshop for its CFO, its accounts department people, its tax department people. So it approaches me. I'm from Maharashtra. So I'm the supplier in this example. The company is the recipient, correct? Now, I'm the supplier, the company is the recipient, and the service is training and performance appraisal service. So there is a workshop being conducted. Now, the company has decided to conduct this workshop in a beautiful place in Kerala. So Kerala, as we all know, is called as God's country or God's abode, and it is a really beautiful place. You all should visit. So it decides that it will be a sort of outing also for its staff. So it hires a beautiful resort in Kerala, and over there they are staying. I go there and I carry out this training program. Now in this case, what is the place of supply? Now interestingly, for deciding the place of supply of this training and performance appraisal service, what do they see? See who your recipient is. Same two possibilities. Is your recipient registered or unregistered? If your recipient unregistered, place of supply is location of recipient. But if your recipient is unregistered, place of supply is place of training. Now, in my given example, first possibility, this company is registered. So my recipient, who is a company, is a registered person. So what will be the place of supply? The place of supply will be Delhi. Same example, let us say there is another training program being carried out by a proprietary concern. So let us say, I take example, let us say Gaurav has a proprietary concern. Gaurav, beta, where are you from? Okay, so Gaurav is also from Delhi. But let us say Gaurav is not yet registered under GST. So for the time being, Gaurav is unregistered. Again, Gaurav hires me. Okay, sir, I want a GST workshop for all the employees of my proprietary firm. And again, he also takes his employee to Kerala. Now, in this second scenario, where my recipient is an unregistered person, now the place of supply is not the place of recipient. It is the place where the training is conducted. So now the place of supply in this second example would be Kerala. So two possibilities. First, my recipient is a registered person. place of supply is recipient. Then you will not see Kerala. That is where the training is done. But if my recipient is an unregistered person, then you will not see the recipient. Then the place of supply will be Kerala. I hope this is clear and understood by all. Vanshika, in case where the company is registered, the POS is Delhi. And in case where the company is unregistered, the POS is Kerala. Yes, correct. So see what is given. Place of to training and performance appraisal 2. So it is talking about the recipient. To whom? To a registered person, it shall be the location of the person. To a person other than registered person, it shall be the location where the services are actually performed. Means where the training is undertaken. Right? Okay, Samiran, sir, supplier and buyer were from the same state, but consumption the service in other state. But Samiran, I will request that be specific. Give me a practical example. See, your example is very vague. Why I'm saying vague? Because you have not given what is the service. If you see what we are studying, for different service, the place of supply is different. It is not material whether buyer, seller are from same state or different state. It is dependent upon what is the service. So until unless you tell me what is the service, I will not be able to give you a proper and correct answer. So students, whenever you are asking a query, like see how I'm giving you example. I'm not giving you example A, B. I'm taking real life names so that it is more practical to everyone. So I'll request the same thing when you are asking a question, taking a situation, please take real examples. Say that you are from this place and the supplier is also from this place. So let us say you both are from Assam and this is the service which is carried out in Delhi. So then I will be able to answer you what is the place of supply. Correct? In fact, I also did not answer. You can check from section 12 list. You yourself will be easily understanding because section 12, as you can see, the list is very clear and very straightforward. This service, this place of supply. This service, this place of supply. Correct? Chalo. Understood, students? Clear? Aditi, sir, in the first case where recipient is registered, then is it under RCM? But why RCM? Are we talking about who is required to pay tax? Again, RCM list is different. Why you are mixing RCM and FCM? How come here the question of RCM comes, Aditi? Here we are deciding what is the place of supply. Who will pay tax is a different chapter. That depends upon what the service is. Right now, the services which we are talking, we did not read the names of these services in RCM. It means in all these cases, the tax is payable by the supplier. So my question is, why is this query of RCM coming to you? I did not get what you mean by thumbs up. You asked me in the first case where recipient is registered, then is it under RCM? My question is, why under RCM? What made you think it should be under RCM? See, RCM, you have a list. We read the list, JTA surveys, then author surveys, then your insurance agent surveys, director surveys, lawyer surveys. Those services are under RCM. Simple, the list is simple. And in those cases, the recipient has to pay tax. Samiran, sir, catering service, beauty service, personal grooming service, that is consumed in the other state, but recipient, supplier from same state. Correct. So, beta, you have to now answer. You have to now answer. So let us take example. You are from Assam. The beautician is also Assam. And you are going for a destination wedding to Rajasthan. What is the place of supply? Rajasthan. Now you tell me which tax the supplier will charge on this service. You tell me. Now I have given you the rule, which tax to be paid. You are the recipient of service. Supplier, who is the beautician, is also, both are from Assam, but the marriage destination is Rajasthan. So you take the beautician. This is a very common example. The beautician is taken to the place of wedding so that he or she can do the beauty treatment of all the people over there. So what will be the tax? Samiran, you tell me. Yes, Manisha. So the purpose of POS is to determine the place of supply, which helps in determining two things. One, which tax has to be levied, C plus S or I, and which state government will get the tax. So the state government where the POS lies, that state government gets the tax. Correct? Yes. Is it clear, students? Understood by all? Perfect. Should we proceed? Super. Now the next service is service by way of admission. Admission to what? Either a cultural event, artistic event, sporting event, scientific, educational, or entertainment event, or amusement park, or any other place, and the service is ancillary there too. Then they have given what is the place of supply. But again, let us take an example. So let me take an example. Yes, you had asked me. Samiran, you are from which place, beta? Yeah, so my guess was correct. So you're from Assam. Okay. Now, let me take an example. Samiran, who is from Assam, comes to Delhi. Why? Because there is a live concert in Delhi, in the Bharat Mandapam. And again, it is of one of my favorite performer, Arjit Singh. So let us say Arjit Singh is having a live conference, a live program. And this program is in Delhi. So Samiran comes from Delhi to attend this program. Now we all know such programs have entry passes. Let us say 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. Second example, we are right now having World Cup going on, T20 World Cup in India. So it is again in different places like various stadiums like Mumbai, Delhi, or in Gujarat, or many places. It is the matches are being held. Now in this particular case, the question is, what will be the place of supply for this service? What is the service? The service is admission service. So you enter a place, right? Yeah, sorry. Now, with this example, let us understand. So Samiran is from Assam. So recipient is from Assam. He is coming all the way to Delhi to attend the live concert of Arjit Singh, which is being held in one of the venues, which is the Bharat Mandapam. Second example that is covered in this is all our IPL matches, all the T20 matches for which people go to the stadium. Again, they buy the entry passes. So we are talking about the service which is called as admission service. Admission to what? Any artistic or cultural or sporting or scientific, any of these type of events. Second, it is also covering admission to different types of amusement parks. So like in Mumbai, we have the amusement park which has rides. In Hyderabad, you have that place where everything is made of ice. So you feel as if you are in some Iceland. So such places are called as amusement park. Plus you have the Ramoji Film City, where again you have different amusement things. So such places are called as amusement park or any other place. And there is some ticket for entry. So that is what is the admission service. Now, what is the place of supply? The place of supply is the place where the event is held or where that park or that place is located. So in my example, for this service, even though recipient is from Assam, the place of supply is the place where the event is happening. Location of event or the park. So wherever the event is being held or wherever the park is, that place is the place of supply under section 12.6. Simple. Now, 12.7 is again talking about same starting scientific, educational, entertainment event. Further, it is talking about different types of conferences, fairs, exhibitions, celebrations, etc. Now I'll say, sir, we already covered this. Now, what is the difference in 12.6 and 12.7? 12.6 was admission to these events. 12.7 is organization of these events. Now, what is this organization of these events? So, organization of event means, now same example, this particular event, which is the live concert. I want this live concert. I am the organizer. So it is me from Maharashtra who is the organizer of this event. Now, I will hire some event management company who is the supplier of the service. I am the recipient of the service. What service they are supplying to me? Event management. Now, I hire a person or an agency which is called as the event management company. What are they going to do? They are going to take care of everything in the event, right from making the venue ready, arranging the chairs, making the light systems ready, LED screens ready, sound systems ready, even printing the entry passes, everything this event management company is doing for me. So I am the recipient of the service, the event management company supplier. Let us say this event management company is also from Maharashtra. So it is from Pune. I am from Nashik, and same, the event is being held in Delhi, the live concert of Arjit Singh. Now, for this service, which service? Event management service, which is over here called as event organizing service. Now, what is the place of supply? Again, they are saying for deciding the place of supply, you see who the recipient is. Again, same two possibilities whenever you see the recipient, whether it is registered or whether it is unregistered. If the recipient is registered, the place of supply is the location of the recipient. If it is unregistered, the place of supply is location of the event. So let us say I am the recipient and I am a registered person. I am the recipient and I am a registered person. So what will be the place of supply? The place of supply will be Maharashtra. Supplier is also from Maharashtra. Place of supply also falls in Maharashtra. Even though it is providing me event management services for event which is held in Delhi, the place of supply for this event is Maharashtra and C plus S would be levied. Right? Yes, Vanshika. So you can say it is similar to 12.5. So what it says, organization of any of these events and also conferences, fairs, exhibition or similar events. So it even includes your marriages. Nowadays, you even hire management companies for organizing your marriage, planning your marriage. Then services ancillary to organization of these events referred to in clause A, and even sponsorship of such events. So all these services are covered. What is the place of supply? If the recipient is a registered person, it is the location of the recipient. If the recipient is other than registered person, it is the location of the event. So right, Vanshika, it is same like 12.5. Now, again, interestingly, what if the event is held outside India? The place of supply now will not be the place of event because the place is outside India. So now they are saying the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. So let us say I'm also organizing another event of Arjit Singh. I'm planning an event and I'm planning this time in UK. Now, if the event is held outside, then this rule which we studied, you will not see. The place of supply will always be the location of recipient. Whether registered or unregistered, the place of supply will be location of recipient. So it will be C plus S in this example, where the event is being held outside India. Is this clear? Should I go to the explanation? This explanation is similar to the explanation with which we started today. Explanation relating to boat and immovable property where it is located in different places. So same thing, where the event is held in more than one state and the price fixed is lump sum price for all the states. What you have to do, firstly, the place of supply will be each of the state as per our rule which we just saw, and again you have to proportionate the value using some appropriate base. So where the event is being held in more than one states, each state will be the place of supply. And if the value is lump sum, you will have to break up the value, you'll have to proportionate the value. This is what this explanation says. See, ancillary means something which is linked to that particular event, like arranging sound system, organizing or making the entire LED screen ready. All these are ancillary. So in all these events nowadays, having a LED screen behind the stage is a very common feature. So the person who is doing the LED screen, who has taken the work of fitting the LED screen, that becomes ancillary service. Correct, beta? Vedant, I did not get your question. In case 7, the event is held outside India. We already saw the answer. Na? It is already given here. What is this example? Event is held in UK. What is the place of supply? The place of supply is location of recipient. We already saw this. So, but I did not get your question. So what is your question? Vedant, what is your question? If the event is held outside India, the place of supply is location of recipient. Simple, full stop. Now what is your question in this? Or rather, what is your pain in this? If the recipient is unregistered, so what? Location of recipient means that state to which the recipient belongs. That state is the place of supply. Simple. So what is the challenge? If you have a lengthier question, then better is you raise your hand, I'll unmute you, because it is taking time for you to type. Then also, again, maybe at times the question is not clear what you have typed. Aditi, you need to learn all these things for exams. So in exam, they will give you one of these cases and they will ask you what is the place of supply. Or in the MCQ question, you'll have to tick out of the given options. So you have to learn means now you have to remember like this, for this event management service, this is the rule. For immovable property service, this is the rule. So same how I'm explaining, in the same fashion, you have to learn and remember for each type of service, what is the place of supply. You'll have to learn this. Exactly. So if you want to know the place of supply, the first step is see the nature of service. Because for each service, there are different place of supply rule. Yes, beta Karan, I already mentioned 12.7 covers IPL matches because it is a sporting event. So organization of IPL matches is covered in 12.7. Entry to IPL matches, that is what we buy the tickets, that is covered in 12.6. Correct. Clear, students? Clear to all? Should we proceed? Now coming to another service, which is the GTA service, that is the goods transport service. Now, in this service, we have a GTA, that is goods transporter, who is the supplier. Now, let us say Vedant is a businessman. Vedant, where are you from? You're from which place, Vedant? Okay. So Vedant is from Kanpur, UP. Now he's a businessman and he requires transport services for his goods. So he needs to send his goods to different parts of the country, or he needs to bring goods from different parts of the country. Now, presently, let us say he's getting goods transported from Jammu and Kashmir. So the special wool and the Pashmina shawl that is famous of Jammu and Kashmir, he wants to bring those shawls to his place. So now the goods are to be transported from Jammu and Kashmir to UP. This is the transportation route, right? The service is provided by GTA, that is a goods transport agency. Let us say the goods transport agency is of Delhi. Its trucks are moving across India. So it says, okay, sir, you want your goods to be transported from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanpur, UP, I'll do that. Now, the service of this goods transportation, which is provided by this goods transport agency, for that service, what is the place of supply? Again, here, they say that for GTA service, that is goods transport service, see who is your recipient. Again, two possibilities. Is your recipient a registered person, or is your recipient an unregistered person? If your recipient is a registered person, the place of supply is the location of the recipient. So let us say Vedant, being a businessman, is a registered person. So if he is registered, then the place of supply will be UP Kanpur. That is the location of the recipient. However, if Vedant is unregistered, the place of supply is starting point of transport. What is the starting point of transport? Jammu and Kashmir. So if Vedant is unregistered, then the place of supply of this GTA service will be Jammu and Kashmir. See, I'll read it from here. So the place of service, supply of service by way of transportation of goods, including by mail or courier, to a registered person shall be the location of the registered person, and to a person other than a registered person shall be the location at which, now see the language, goods are handed over for their transportation. I have replaced this by simple language, starting point of transport, because it is the place where the goods will be given to the transporter for transporting them. So simple words, it is the starting point of transport. So in my example, it is Jammu and Kashmir. So in case the recipient, who is in this example, a businessman Vedant, is unregistered, is not registered in any state, in that case, the place of supply will be Jammu and Kashmir. But if he is registered in UP, the place of supply will be his location, that is UP. Is this clear? Students, any queries, questions till this point? Then coming to the service of passenger transport, right? Okay. Vanshika, you are from which place, beta? Okay, so Vanshika is from a very beautiful place, Mathura. Great. So now the next scenario, which is our next case, 12.9, which is passenger transport service. Now Vanshika is traveling. She is the recipient of the service and she is traveling by Indian Airlines. So Indian Airlines is the supplier of service. Now what is her travel route? She is from Mathura, UP, and this airlines, let us say, is registered in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now she is traveling. She wants to take a flight from UP to Tamil Nadu and also return. So from her place, from Mathura, she is going to a place in Tamil Nadu, and from there she will be returning back. Now this is her transportation route, and the service is transport service. So let us say she is doing flight booking with Indian Airlines. So Indian Airlines is the service provider. Let us say its registered address is Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now comes the interesting part. Again, what is the place of supply? So for passenger transport service, you have to again see the recipient. Same. Again, recipient may be registered, unregistered. Now, if recipient is registered, the place of supply is location of recipient, no problem. But if the recipient is unregistered, place of supply is starting point of transport, same like GTA service. So for goods transport, passenger transport, the rule is same. So first example, let us say Vanshika is registered. So what is the place of supply? Place of supply is UP, because it will be the location of recipient. But since she is individual, let us say she is a salaried person, so she is unregistered. Now, if she is unregistered, what is the starting point of her transport? Interestingly, she has booked both ways flight, outward and return. But we will see the explanation also. It says that whenever return flights are booked, it will be considered as a separate service. Even though you do both the bookings at the same time, you may get the same invoice, but it will be considered as a separate service, which means when Vanshika is unregistered, we have to take the starting point of the transport as the place of supply. So there will be two places of supplies. For the outward going service, UP is the place of supply. And for the return flight service, Tamil Nadu, which is the starting point, is the place of supply. So see, place of supply for passenger transport service. So common example is airlines, railways. All these are example, even your bus, but AC bus because non-AC is exempt. Okay. So when you're traveling by any of these modes and you book a ticket, what will be the place of supply? You, that is a recipient, is a registered person. The place of supply is your location. No problem. But when you are not a registered person, it shall be the place where the passenger embarks on the conveyance. In short, again, simple words, starting point of your travel. From where you are embarking means when you are from where you are going into the plane or the ship or the aircraft, that is the place of supply. So it is the starting point. Provided that where the rights to passage is given for future use and for point of embarkation is not known at the time of issue of right of passage, the place of supply of such service shall be determined in accordance with provisions of subsection 2. Fine, you can ignore this part. This explanation is what I was talking about. For the purpose of this subsection, return flight is treated as a separate journey. And that is why, even though you may have booked both tickets at the same time, because many times we do booking of both sides, still for outward, the place of supply is the starting point, which is UP. For return, the place of supply is Tamil Nadu. Is this clear, students? Hope this 12.9 is clear to everyone. Yes, Aditi.
Sir, I just want you to just clarify something. Like I will say, and you just tell me that is it correct or not. Like the place of supply when Vanshika is traveling from Uttar Pradesh, Mathura to Tamil Nadu, so there the place of supply will be UP. But when she is returning,
we are assuming Vanshika is unregistered, huh? Because if she
yeah,
is registered, so for both flights, the place of supply is UP only if she is registered, right? That we discussed at the start. So if
okay,
she is registered for both flights, because in case of registered, what is the place? It is the
yeah,
location of recipient always is UP Mathura. So
yeah,
if he is registered, then for both flights, the place of supply is UP only, correct?
yes, sir.
But if she is unregistered, then
Yeah, then when she is going from UP to Tamil Nadu, so then the place of supply is UP, and when she is returning from Tamil Nadu, then the place of supply is Tamil Nadu. Correct, sir?
simple, it is the starting point of transport. So
Okay,
correct.
sir. Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay, perfect. Clear? Vedant beta, whether it matters if the destination is outside India, because anyways we have to take the starting point of the service, right? Embark means you go onto the flight. So flight mein chadna, getting into the flight is embarking, and getting out of the flight se utarna is disembarking. Yes, Vedant, the rule is same, irrespective of whether, let us say, from Indian Airlines you are going from Mumbai to Dubai. Indian Airlines is in India, you are in India, you will see section 12, and the answer remains same. So even if your destination of the flight, let us say instead of Tamil Nadu, you are going to Dubai, still the place of supply is decided by this rule only. Correct? Should we proceed? Now, continuing the same example. Now, Vanshika is traveling from UP to Tamil Nadu, and in the flight, after getting into the flight, she suddenly finds that she has forgotten her tiffin box. She has the habit of carrying her food from home because she only prefers home food, no outside food. But this time in haste of reaching the airport in time and getting all things done, she missed to carry her tiffin. Now, in this particular case, we are talking about what? We are talking about food served on board conveyance. That is while you are in transit. So, either if you are going by train, you book that meals, you have that IRCTC people going on, the railway people going on, and you have a railway canteen. So either you are booking the meals there and they serve you the meals, or in flight, you ask the flight attendant, the air hostess, to serve you the meals. Now, in this particular case, when food is served, it becomes a service, right? Now, what is the place of supply of this food served? That is what is covered in section 1210. So what is given? It is a place of supply of service on board a conveyance, including a vessel, aircraft, plane, motor vehicle shall be location of the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance. So POS is first schedule point of departure of the conveyance. Now what it means, again, two scenarios we have. First is she's going from UP to Tamil Nadu. So for the first flight, what is the first starting point of departure? It is UP. So UP is the place of supply for whatever food she has between UP to Tamil Nadu flight. It may be purchased by her at any place of at any point of time. At that time, the flight may be in UP, the flight may be in Delhi, the flight may be in airspace of Maharashtra, Karnataka, whatever. It makes no difference. The place of supply is the first scheduled point of departure. Similarly, when she is returning back, now the first scheduled point of departure is Tamil Nadu. So whatever food she has booked on flight while returning back, the place of supply for that food service is Tamil Nadu. So for the services which you are availing on board the conveyance, like common example is food, that is covered in 1210, and the place of supply is the first scheduled point of departure. Is this understood and clear, students? Done? Now, subsection 11, it deals with telecom services. Plus, it deals with data transfer. So we all understand data today. It is very crucial for all of us. Broadcasting, cable, direct to home television service, etc. So simple example. What is covered in this? So today you have your mobile phones, you have the internet service, you have some Wi-Fi installed at home, and maybe you have taken some D2H cable connection, which may be, let us say, of Tata Sky, or you may have taken it of Airtel, Dish TV, whatever. Now, in these cases, what is the place of supply? Now, there are different scenarios. First scenario is whether your service is provided to you by way of some fixed, what you can say, a fixed instrument. Like in case of Wi-Fi, you have the modem. In case of Dish TV, you have the dish. So all these are the fixed lines. So if the services are provided by way of some fixed telecommunication line or leased circuits or internet, but all these are fixed using some antenna or some dish, then in such cases, the place of supply is the place where these gadgets are installed. So if it is installed in your house becomes the place of supply. If it is installed in your office or your factory, that place becomes the place of supply. So wherever that modem, that dish, that antenna is fixed, that place becomes the place of supply for the first service. That is where the telecom service, the internet service, the cable TV service is provided using a fixed instrument which is installed. So the place of supply is place where that gadget is installed through which you are getting the service. Clear? Now second possibility is mobile. So you're getting the same service, the telecom service, the internet service, and that is through mobile. Now within mobile, the possibility is your card is postpaid, or within mobile, your card is prepaid. Two possibilities. So if your card is a postpaid card, then the place of supply is the billing address of the recipient. So you have provided some billing address. It may be your residence address, it may be your office address. So the billing address is the place of supply. But where your card is a prepayment card. So we know what happens in case of prepayment card. So where you have taken a prepaid card, you have to keep on recharging it. Now for recharging, either you go to some shop. Now this is some old times. I don't know whether it is still available in your city, but in major cities now this is not there because people are doing all these things online. But earlier, or maybe today also in some cities, there would be some shops where you go to the shop and tell the person, "Ki boss, I want recharge of rupees 100." You pay the person 100 rupees, and the person using his phone or using a scratch card does recharge in your phone of rupees 100. So where you are getting the recharge done from a shop, which is over here called as a selling agent or as a reseller or as a distributor, etc. The place of supply is the address of this shop. So where you are getting the recharge from a shop, the place of supply is the shop. Then the second possibility is where this prepayment is done by any person to the final subscriber to be the location where the prepayment is received or the voucher is sold. So again, basically this becomes the shop only. Now, but as I said, this is the old times. In recent times, even the prepaid cards are recharged online. That will fall in any other case. In any other case, it will be the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier. And in case where the address is not available, then the place of supply will be location of the supplier. But this is a rare chance that the address will not be available. So I'll just put down what we just saw. So we are in 1211. 1211 covers what? Telecom services, internet services, cable TV services, D2H, direct to home services. All these services are covered. Now in this, what are the possibilities? You are using some fixed instrument. I'm using the word instrument, which means the cable dish or the antenna or the modem. Then it is the place where the instrument is fixed. So if it is fixed in your house, your house. If it is fixed in your office, your office. Second, opposite to this is mobile services. And in mobile services, first is the postpaid. If it is postpaid, it is the billing address of recipient. See, within mobile, if it is prepaid and you are getting this done from the shop, so it is the shop. Now in this, they have used the word seller, reseller, distributor, but just for your understanding, I am using a simple term, shop of the person providing recharge. So the shop from where you get your mobile phone recharge, that shop is the place of supply. And D, in other cases, if address of recipient available on record of supplier, Yes, then POS is location of recipient. No, POS is location of supplier. So this is what is given in these scenarios. Further, what it says, provided that where the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier is not available, the place of supply shall be the location of supplier. I've already mentioned this. Provided further that in such prepaid service is availed or recharge is made through online. So where prepaid is done through online or other electronic mode, the location of recipient of the service on the record of the supplier shall be the place of supply. So where the recharge is done using online medium, the place of supply shall be the address of the recipient. So prepaid, online recharge, correct? So in this, it is the address of recipient, which is the place of supply. Fine. So in prepaid only, if it is online recharge or if the recharge is through a shop. So these are the two possibilities, right? Clear, students? Then again, a similar explanation what we studied earlier, where the lease circuit is installed in more than one state. So this is for the first one, that is where some instrument is installed and it is installed in more than one state and the bill is a consolidated amount. Now we know firstly what it says, the place of supply shall be each of the states. We know this, so each state will be the place of supply, but how? You will again apportion the value of the service between the different states using some reasonable basis. So on the reasonable basis, you will apportion the consolidated value between each state, and for that each state will be the place of supply. Is this clear, students? Yes, Aditi.
So I didn't get this explanation part. Like, could you please give one simple example for this?
See, I'll give you a very simple example, but it may not be simple for you all because you all have not seen practically how business runs. But let us say this is a company, Tata. What Tata has done, it has its office in Delhi, or let us say Haryana, Delhi, and Noida. Now we all know these places are linked. This is called as what do you call these three places combined? I'm forgetting that word. What is these three places combined called? NCR. Yeah, Delhi NCR. Now, the Tata has its office in all the three places and it has put a leased circuit line. So it is like an underground cable. It has put for internet services. Now for this, obviously the Tata has taken this service from some service provider, let us say Airtel, but it has asked to put a leased line passing through these different offices of Tata, which are situated in these three states. Now for this, every month, the the Airtel is charging them rupees 2 lakhs because they are using the internet services of Airtel used through this fixed line, the lease line. Now, this is the example which fits in the explanation. Now, since you have put some fixed line, it is embedded in the earth through cable, the internet is being provided in all your offices. So, what will be the place of supply? It will be each of these states, and the total value of 2 lakhs, which Airtel is charging every month to Tata, has to be apportioned between the states using some reasonable means. Is this clear, beta?
Yes, sir. Clear now. Thank you, sir.
Yes, beta, John.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Very good evening. Please tell me, beta.
Sir, in case of prepaid balance, sir, prepaid telecom services, sir.
Yes.
If I was from Andhra, I was being registered in my SIM as Andhra Pradesh, sir. But I was timing in Telangana or some other state. And I have got recharged from the other state than Andhra.
Correct. So let us say
Then
you go
where
to some shop, and from shop you take the voucher or the scratch card and you do the recharge. Correct.
yes, sir.
So let us say you have come to Maharashtra for
On,
some work.
on,
Your
on the
recharge is over. So
also, sir.
here in Maharashtra, you go to a shop, you do the recharge from Maharashtra. Correct. Place of supply. What is the rule? Place of supply in such cases is, see, when you are getting is done from a shop, it is the address of that shop. So if you are getting it done in Telangana, as you said, it is Telangana. When you are getting it done in Maharashtra, it is Maharashtra. Is this clear, John? Yes, Aditya.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please tell me.
Sir, I am traveling. I am from Mangalore, sir. Mangalore. So I am go to Sri Lanka, sir. In same cases, my recharge is over. On that situation, how to recharge, sir? On that Sri Lanka place.
But it will fall in section 12 or 13. My first question. Because now you are getting recharge done from a person who is in Sri Lanka. So the service provider is Sri Lanka, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
So it is falling in section 13, beta.
Section 13.
In 12. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Understood?
Sir, understood, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now the remaining services are simple services. Section 12 covers what? Banking and financial services, for which what it says? It is the location of the recipient of service, if it is available on the records of the service provider, and if it is not available on the records of the service provider, then it is the location of the supplier. So it is something like your default rule. So in case of banking or other financial services or stockbroking services, the answer is if the address of the recipient is available on the record of the supplier, it is the recipient's address, that is the location of recipient. If his address is not available on record of the supplier, then it is the location of supplier. And for insurance service, it is always the location of the recipient. Why? Because even if recipient is registered, no problem. Even if recipient is other than registered, you always have the location of the recipient on your records. Because when you take insurance, you fill in the form, and in that it is compulsory to give your address. So your address is always on record with the insurance company. So in simple words, in case of insurance, place of supply is always your location of recipient, always. Even where you are registered, even where you are unregistered, in both cases, it is location of recipient. And then last is place of supply of advertisement services when given to government. Now, what is the example of this? You will find that in many places, many hoardings are put displaying government schemes, or in smaller cities, there is painting done on the wall promoting some government scheme, like let us say you should educate girl child, or you should control population, or you should stop consuming tobacco and alcohol. Many times all these advertisements are put by the government either in the form of hoardings. In bigger cities, it is even in the form of the light or the glow sign boards. And in smaller town places or villages, it is by painting the walls. Now, let us say I have taken the contract from the government for doing all these things. So what I'm doing is I'm providing the advertisement service to whom, either the central government or the state government or some statutory body or some local body. Now, in such cases, what is the place of supply? The place of supply is the place where all these hoardings, all these wall paintings are done. So it is the location where the advertisement is being displayed. Correct? So firstly, the place of supply of advertisement services given to the government will be that place, that state where these advertisements are being displayed. Now let us say it is the advertisement of central government. See, if it is of state government, there is no problem because it will be displayed only in their state. So it will always be only one state. But let us say it is central government, and the central government wants this scheme, this ad to be run in multiple states. Now, this advertisement may be through television, maybe through radio, or through these holdings, but it is now in different states. And again, this is done for a lump sum price. Then again, what is the rule? Each of the state will be the place of supply, and whatever is the value for each of the state, you have to again proportionate the amount to find out how much is applicable to each state. So again, the point is same. It is the place, it is the state where the advertisement is being displayed, broadcasted. That is the place. And if that place is in multiple states, which will happen in case of central government advertisements, then again, following the rule which we studied earlier at two places, one is for immobile property and the other is for event organizing. The same rule is continued over here. You have to proportionate the value between different states. Is this clear to all? Yes. So in case of digital advertisement, good question, John. So nowadays people do advertisement on Instagram, on internet. So they have come out with a specific manner of dividing or apportioning the value. How they apportion. So let us say you have put it on Instagram. So they will see that in every state there are how many subscribers of Instagram. In that ratio, they will apportion the value to all the states. So in case of digital media, the value is apportioned to all the states because digital media is visible everywhere, excepting, let us say, if there is any place where the digital media is banned. Presently, there is no such state. But let us say if there is any state it is banned, so except that state, all other states, the value will be apportioned. And for that, they take the subscriber of that particular place. So how many people are on that social media or that digital media from that state? That is the ratio which is taken. Fine, John? Great. So students, with this, we have completed the different place of supply provisions. All right. Now we'll take our break. And after the break, we'll go to the next part. So this analysis part we have already done in detail. So you may go through them. Again, our module has beautifully given the different cases with different examples, like how we discussed. So after the break, we'll come to the last part of this chapter, that is determining whether your supply is interstate, intrastate, etc. Fine, students? Yes, Aditya, I purposefully giving the break now so that now we are going to a different section. So it is also a psychological break. Yes. So students, we meet after 15 minutes. Now, students, we go to the next part of this topic. The next part is about which supply will be called as interstate supply, which supply will be called as intra-supply. Now, we have already discussed this in very simple form, like where the location of supplier, place of supply, they fall in the same state, you call it as intrastate. Where they fall in different states, you call it as interstate supply, correct? Now, it is not only this much, but for all practical purposes, this is what we follow. But this is given in detail in section 7 and 8 of the IGST Act. So now we are going to section 7 and 8 of the IGST Act in detail. So what is 7 dealing with? It is trying to define, it is trying to explain what will be called as interstate supply. So what it says, subject to the provisions of section 10, supply of goods where, now first it is talking about supply of goods, and then it says where location of supplier and place of supply, they are in different states, different union territories, or one is in a state and the other one is in a union territory. So all these scenarios will be treated as supply in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So it will be interstate supply if the location of supplier, LOS, and POS, not the location of recipient, LOS and POS, they are in two different states or two different union territories, or one is in a state and the other is in a union territory. Then all these cases come under interstate supply, or they are called a supply in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Second, similarly for services, now services we have studied place of supply in section 12. So they are saying obviously you have to first refer section 12 so that you determine what is the place of supply. Now, again what you have to see, location of supplier, and again not location of recipient but the place of supply. So where location of supplier, place of supplier in two different states or in two different union territories, or one is in a state and one is in a union territory, again such supply will be called as in the course of interstate trade or commerce, that is interstate supply, correct? So for supply of goods, for supply of service, both say the same thing but just in a different language. So in two different sections they have given the same thing. Now coming to subsection 5, again see there are other subsections within 5 also, there are ABC clauses, but they have only given us what is relevant at this level. So they have only given us clause C. What does subsection 5 clause C says? Now this is common for both goods and service both. It says where the supply of goods or service for both is in the taxable territory. So the supply is happening in India, so taxable territory is India, and it is not covered in the intrastate supply list, which we are going to study after this, and also not covered anywhere else in this section. So it is like the residuary rule. So where a transaction is such that it is not falling in the intrastate supply list, which we are going to study in section 8, nor it is covered in any of the above cases, again it will also be treated as supply which is in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So in simple words, what I gave to you here was a simple rule. When it is interstate supply, location of supplier, place of supply, they are in different states or different union territories, we call it as interstate supply, correct? Simple. Anybody, any doubts, confusion relating to this? Please ask me. Again, they have taken examples. Yes, students, anybody, any queries or doubts, please ask. Okay, Vanshika says no doubt. So I put the same with others. Now we come to section 8. Okay, Maithili has a doubt. Yes, Maithili.
Yes, sir. In this is this interstate supply, place of supply, and the location of the supplier. This scenario is only for this section 7 only, correct, sir?
No, I did not get your question, but at this, okay, you repeat your question, please.
Yes, sir. This place of supply and the location of supply is different states and different union territories and different state and union territory. This scenario is come to only the section 7, not for section 12 and section 10. That's all. I'm confusing, sir.
Frankly speaking, not. See, one second, understand. See, they have already said that subject to section 12, subject to section 10, and we studied these two sections only in place of supply. See, understand one thing. Why it is saying subject to section 10 and 12? So it is saying you first go to 10 and 12. That is why we first studied 10 and 12. Why to study first 10 and 12? Because you should know where the place of supply is falling. So you first go to 10 and 12 to check where the place of supply is falling. Now you know where your place of supply is, like how we discussed different scenarios of 10 and 12. Now we know for different transactions which state is the place of supply. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So first you checked state of checked place of supply. You came to know which state is the place of supply. As per 10, if it is transaction of goods, or as per 12, it is transaction of service. Understood?
Yes, sir. That is not my confusion.
Then listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Now you have understood what is place of supply. Like let us say any of these examples that we discussed. In all the examples, I'm writing both the things. What I'm writing location of supplier and I'm taking what is place of supply. Now you have understood that let us say for GTA service, this is the place of supply. What is the place of supply? UP, right?
Now,
yes, what does section 7 says? Check if the location of supplier, where it is Delhi, and the place of supply which you have just found out as per 12.8, where it is UP. Are these different states? Yes. So it means as per 7, this transaction is interstate. So what you will pay? IGST.
IGST, yes,
But this we have been discussing right from start. Now, see, every transaction we have discussed the same thing. Like here, if you see, every transaction I was writing, whether it is interstate or intrastate. Now, what we were writing interstate, intrastate is actually what is given in section 7 and 8, what we are now just theoretically studying. But we have practically seen this. What we have practically seen, check the location of supplier, it is Delhi. Check the place of supply, it is also Delhi. So which tax to levy? It falls in section 8. We are yet to study section, but it falls in section 8. What does section 8 says? Location of supplier, place of supply, both are in the same state. If they are in the same state, call it as intrastate. And once it is intrastate, levy C plus S.
Okay, so but the recipient is not come to this section, correct, sir?
Beta, how recipient is important, beta? Why you all are, see, this is the query raised by many people at multiple times. Why you are looking at recipient? The law wants you to look at two things. One, location of supplier. Second, place of supply. Why you want to look at recipient? The law does not.
Yes, sir. All the sections, section 10 and 12, 7, 8, all the sections are dealing with only place of supply and the location of supply. Supplier.
Yes. Now it may happen. Now it may happen. It may happen that the place of supply and the location of recipient is same. Like in some cases, the place of supply is location of recipient only. That is okay. But still we are not seeing the location of recipient. Still what we are seeing is place of supply. So we have to always see these two things only. It may happen that it is the location of recipient only. Okay. But I am not looking at location of recipient. I have to see these two things and compare them. Where is this Maharashtra? Where is this Haryana? Different states, interstate. Understood?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
So you don't have to see location of recipient. You have to see location of.
So in the case of registered, if a recipient is registered and unregistered, in that case, recipient will see the place of supply, sir. Location of recipient in that case.
Better see in this example, Divya, who was the recipient of my return filing service, she was registered in Haryana, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, for this service, what was the place of supply rule? That if the recipient is registered, the recipient's place, what is the recipient place? Haryana will be called as the place of supply.
Okay, sir. Only we need to notice the recipient place for the identifying the place of supply. That
Yes,
purpose only we need to see the
that's
recipient
it.
place.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
You have
Understood.
identified the place of supply. Now you'll only see location of supplier and place of supply. If both are same state, you will call it as intrastate. If both are different states, you will call it as interstate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Understood.
Yes. Yes, Aditi.
So intrastate and interstate supply both comes in IGST Act. Like for the intrastate, there must be something different now for CGST and SGST Act.
So, beta, we studied the CGST Act charging section. Na? Intrastate
Yeah.
supply is covered in charging section of CGST Act. That is why you levy CNS. And we studied the charging section of IGST Act. It covers interstate supplies. So that is why we first studied the charging sections in the previous chapter called as levy. In levy at the start, we studied the charging sections only. And the charging section of IGST Act says it will levy IGST on which supply? Interstate supply. And the charging section of CGST Act says it will levy CGST and SGST on which supply? Intrastate supply.
Okay. Got it.
Correct? So we already studied the charging section first so that we understand on which supply which tax will be levied. Right? Now we go to the definition of intrastate supply, which we already know. Again, it says what? Subject to section 10, where your transaction is supply of goods. Again, what you have to see, location of supplier and place of supply. Now, where location of supplier and place of supply, they are in the same state or in the same union territory, it will be called as intrastate supply. Again, subject to section 12, which is for supply of service, where again what you have to see, location of supplier and place of supply. If both are in the same state or the same union territory, you will call it as intrastate supply. So what we have to see, again, whether it is transaction of goods or service, you have to see location of supplier and you have to see place of supply. How is place of supply determined? We already studied in section 10 for goods. It has given you different transactions, place of supply. That is why this section says, first you go to section 10. First find out the place of supply, then come to me. Now you have gone to section 10. You have seen the nature of a transaction. And according to the nature of transaction, you have found out the place of supply. Now, after you have found out the place of supply, now check location of supplier. Compare these two. If both these are in the same state or the same union territory, you will call that transaction as intrastate supply. If both are in different states or in different union territories, or one is in one state and the other is in a union territory, we will call that transaction as interstate supply. Correct? Now, there is an explanation in section 8, what it says. For the purpose of this act, where a person has an establishment in a state or a union territory and establishment outside that state or union territory. So in short, you have one shop in one state and another shop outside that state, it means in another state. Second, has an establishment in a state or union territory and any other establishment registered within that state or union territory. So now you have two places, that is one which is unregistered, one which is registered, and both are within the same state. Then it is saying such establishment shall be treated as distinct persons. So in short, even if you have unregistered place, that unregistered place will also be called as a distinct person in simple words. So where you have unregistered places, the unregistered places are called as a distinct person. Right? Then what does explanation 2 says? A person carrying on business through a branch or agency or any representational office in any territory shall be treated as having establishment in that territory. So your branch or your agency will also be considered as your place of business. So these are the two explanations. So the first explanation is saying where you have an unregistered office or an unregistered place of business, that will be called as your distinct person. Point number 1. And point number 2, when you are having a branch or you are working through some agent. So you are having not your own office, but you are having the office of an agent or any representational office, then that office of the agent or the representation office will also be considered as your place of business. So even if you are doing business through branch or through agent, that place of branch or agent will be considered as your place of business. So this is the explanation given. Now we come to an interesting section, the last section of this chapter, section 9. Now it deals with a very interesting scenario. It deals with the scenario where the transactions are taking place in territorial waters. Now this is interesting. The transactions are taking place not on land, but in waters. But which waters? The waters which is considered as India, that is up to 12 nautical miles in the sea. If you remember, we had seen the definition of India, and the definition of India covers the distance of 12 nautical miles in the sea. So let us say all places near all your ports. So wherever you have port, like you have Mumbai port, you have the ports in Gujarat, you have ports in Goa, you have ports in Vishakhapatnam. All these ports, the distance in the sea up to 12 kilometers is also India. That part is called as territorial waters. Now, you are doing some transaction in that water. So now you'll say, sir, how? Give an example. So you would be knowing now we have floating ONGC plant. We have floating fishing manufacturing plants. These are all in the sea. So that from there only they extract the oil, or from there only they catch the fish, and in the sea itself they do the processing. Now either it may be in the form of a floating platform, or it may be in the form of a huge ship which is made like a factory. So this is the example of you are doing business in the territorial water. Now in such cases, what it says, notwithstanding anything contained in this act. So anywhere, whatever you have read, you have to keep that aside. Where the location of the supplier is in the territorial water. So I just gave example, your factory is in the waters. Then the location of such supplier shall, for the purpose of this act, be deemed to be in which state? In the state which is the nearest point of baseline. So in short, this section tries to help you decide you fall in which state. So let us say you have this ONGC plant which is floating in waters. You have some fishing unit which is floating in waters. So all these are real life examples. Now, which state it will be said that you belong to? So the answer is you have to see distance wise which is the nearest coastal state. So let us say now we have all these states next to each other, Maharashtra, Goa. But when you are in the territorial waters, you have to see distance wise you are closer to which state, because that state will be said to be your state for all purposes. So for taking registration, for filing returns, you will go to which state? You will go to the state which is nearest to your ship or your platform which is there in the territorial waters. So when you are doing business in the territorial waters, you are having some establishment in the territorial waters, then you belong to which state? The answer is given in section 9. It is the state which is nearest to you. So you have to measure the distance. Whatever state falls closer to your establishment, which is in waters, that state will be considered as your state. Similarly, where the place of supply is falling in territorial waters. So let us say we were talking about that cruise example. So the cruise ship is moving from one part to another part, like it is going from the Bombay to Goa via sea. Now in this case, it will be said to be in which state? Again, the same rule, the state to which it is nearest. So we saw the rule, the place of supply rule, that even for boats, the place of supply rule is place where the boat is located. Now, if the boat is moving between two states, then we discuss we have to find out the time for which it is in each of the states. So I gave an example today at the start that for 2 days it is in Maharashtra and 1 day it is in Goa. Now, how did I decide that 2 days it is in Maharashtra? So when it was in the sea, the nearest state to it was Maharashtra, and this was up to 2 days. And then when it traveled further, the nearest state was Goa, which was for 1 day. So this is how the total 3 days journey was divided. So when you are in the ship, till the ship is moving, you have to keep on checking which is your nearest state. And for that period, you are said to be in that state. So for 2 days, you were in Maharashtra and 1 day you were in Goa. This was my example on the basis of this section 9. So this is what section 9 tells you. So students, that is the end of this topic. Here, our module has beautifully given the summary of all these place of supply provisions. So you can always refer to them. Now here, I would like to take you to one more interesting point. We have studied in many of the above sections that at many places you have to proportionate the value. Like I was just giving an example of your ship traveling from one place to another. Now, how you have to proportionate the value? The answer is you have to use some base. You have to use some ratio. Now, what is the ratio? That is also given in the law. So first is service of lodging accommodation in some boat. Same example of what I was just telling you. That is what is the cruise example. So I already gave you an example. Your cruise is from Bombay to Goa. Now you have to find out for how many nights you are in each state. So in my example there, I gave you 2:1. So you have to find the time period. Here they are saying number of nights stayed in such property. So in case of ship, it is the distance, it is nearest to which state. So for whatever period you are traveling from Bombay to Goa, you have to see for what period your ship is nearest to Maharashtra and for what period it is nearest to Goa. So what is the ratio that is to be taken? In short, the ratio is the time ratio. Second, other services in relation to immovable property. So when you are talking about immovable property, what ratio you have to take? You have to take the ratio of the area of the immovable property, which is in each of the states. So let us say there is a big resort, or there is this, many times you have these wildlife sanctuaries and all. These are spread between two states because it starts from one state and it ends in another state. So many times we have some immobile properties like these wildlife sanctuary places or some big resorts which are between two states. In such case, you have to see the area. How much area is falling in one state, how much area is falling in another state, and the ratio of that area will be taken to divide that value. This I have already mentioned. Lodging accommodation service in some vessel, it is the time spent by the boat in each state. I just mentioned that. So you have to take the time ratio. Next, organizing of event. So we saw this example also. So let us say the example of Arjit Singh's event. I want to conduct his event in 5 states. And for that, the lump sum value is 1 crore. Now, in this case, we saw the place of supply rule. It said that where the event is held. Now, where the event is held, now the event is held in 5 different states. I will have to proportionate the value. How do I proportionate the value? Here, they have not given any basis or ratio. They have said that you have to use generally accepted accounting principles. So generally, it is divided equally between the 5 states. This is what is happening practically, because in the law, they have not given you any ratio. Second, manner of determining the proportion value of service relating to lease circuit. This was my last example. I think Maitli or somebody had asked me. This was relating to that telecom line, where I said that you are Tata company, you have office in Haryana plus Delhi plus Noida, which is called as NCR, right? And between this area, you have put a leased circuit line, that is a cable for internet services. Now, in such cases, the Airtel company is charging you monthly 2 lakhs for the internet charges. Now, how will you divide it between the 3 states? The answer is where there is some least circuit line, it has to be in proportion of the value of service, which is computed on the basis of number of points lying in each state. Which means what? So let us say 3 states were covered in my example. So it was Haryana, it was Delhi, it was UP because Noida was there, correct? Now, the line is passing through 3 states. Now you have to check how many number of points. Now, number of points means what? How many number of office you have in Haryana? Let us say 3. How many office you have in Delhi in 2 parts of Delhi? And how many office you have in Noida? Again 2. So whatever is the total monthly bill, the internet charges, that will be divided in the ratio of 3:2:2. That is in the ratio of number of points. Here I'll say number of offices lying in each state. Correct? This is how the proportionate rule applies. So for different services, again, they have given different basis for doing the proportionate. So students, with this, we complete the entire topic. Now somebody was asking, sir, whether we have to learn. Answer is yes, because what type of questions you'll get? You'll simply straightforward question. What is the place of supply of insurance service? So some example is given. Again, this example is given of traveling. So what is the place of supply? This example, mobile phone. What is the place of supply or what is the location of supplier? Then in case of passenger transport service, again, you are traveling from some place. What is the place of supply? So you get straightforward answers with one of the service or one of the transaction given, and you are asked which place will be the place of supply. So you have to go to that particular specific section which deals with that particular transaction or that particular service, and as per the provision given over there, you will apply the rule and decide the place of supply. Is this clear, students? So we have completed this entire chapter with all the pointers. Now, if there are any queries, questions, you may please ask so that all your queries and questions will also get addressed and this chapter will be concluded in toto. Yes, Gaurav, you may get case study based question, but the case study will be like this only, na? Like how I gave example, my all examples were case study. So that is what type of question you are going to get, right? In fact, after this, the next chapter is also going to be very interesting, Maithili. It is the chapter on exemption. Again, over there, we are going to study different types of transaction services and the conditions under which the law gives them exemption. So the next chapter, again, I'm eagerly waiting for that chapter to start because that is again covering very interesting part, that is exemption. Over there also, we are going to take many practical live examples. Yes, Aditya.
Sir, you have to set that time of supply is taken 2:1, 3:2:2. But how to find out that how it takes the travel of time?
Which case you are talking about, Aditya, beta?
Sir, you have said that the Haryana, Delhi, UP, 3:2:2 ratio we can take. But in such cases, travel in time, how you can calculate?
What, how is calculated?
Sir, how
This is the example I was giving. Correct? You are talking about
Yes,
this
sir,
example, right? Tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, in this example, 3:2:2 is the final answer. How we can
I told you,
calculate
you have
on
3
that?
offices in Haryana. I think you did not listen to me. I said you have 3 offices in Haryana, 2 in Delhi, 2 in UP. So what is this 3 offices? See, a big company has multiple offices in one place also, na?
Okay, sir.
So that is 3:2:2, number of offices.
Sir, but I understand that 3:2:2, but you said that the time of supply, that is.
We are not talking about time of supply. Why you are talking about time of supply in this chapter? This is what you have put an internet leased line. You have put a cable which is passing from 3 states, and this cable is put to provide you the internet services. Airtel has put this cable. This is my example. What is time of supply in this? I'm not getting. Why we are studying? We are talking about place of supply. We're not talking about time of supply.
Okay.
Fine?
Oh, okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, John.
Sir, I have some understanding issues in section 8, sir. Intrastate supply explanation 1, sir.
So tell me, what is your doubt? Please tell me.
Sir, if I have a business established in the same state of 2 branches, sir, do I need to get it registered 2 differently, sir?
See, if you are having 2 branches in one state, first you have to check, are you making supply from these branches, and are the supplies taxable? There is a possibility one branch may only be a back-end office, not doing any supply. Only the supply is happening from the second branch. In that particular case, only the branch which is making a supply is compulsorily required to be registered, and the branch which is not making a supply need not be registered.
If the supply was between those 2 branches, sir?
Then both have to be registered. Now, if both are in the same state, you are given a choice. This you will study in the registration chapter, where the branches are in the same state. The choice is you can take single registration for both. So in one registration, you'll cover the address of both branches, or you can take 2 separate registration for both the branches. So when they are in the same state, you are having this choice. But if these branches are in 2 different states, you have to compulsorily take 2 separate registration. So in different states, compulsory separate registration. Same state, you are given option. 1 registration or 2 separate registration is your choice.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Aditi, madam.
So I wanted to ask that
your voice is not audible, madam. Aditi.
So am I audible now?
You are audible now. Please tell.
Okay, so I wanted to ask that is there any kind of reference thing we can take, like you have also not provided the PYQ questions, and also if there is any kind of books or any kind of the websites which we can refer for the more information.
These are the reference questions, na? I just took you at the end. See, these are the reference questions.
No, like it is just
This is the
related to the
questions,
study
beta.
matter, so that's why I was asking.
So, beta, this is the exam questions only, or do one thing, na? See, in our portal, we have our all past exam papers uploaded.
Okay.
Have past exams, MTP, RTP uploaded. You just download them, and you will find same questions over there.
Okay.
So our module is taking the questions which are asked in exams. But still, you can refer to those PYQs and MTPs and RTPs. All are hosted on our BOS portal, beta. Okay. See, when you go to the BOS portal, you find one section which is about module. In the similar fashion, you see there are so many tabs. In one tab, you'll find past exam questions. One tab, you'll find MTPs. So you download them. But the questions are similar to what are given at the end of the chapter, beta.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So thank you, students. That is all from my side. I hope your queries and doubts are completely addressed. So
my doubt
tell me.
General only. For maintenance of notes, for GST, we need to maintain any practical sums, problems, or notes and the concept note.
See, I am sharing
separate
notes. I am
or
writing along with you all. I am sharing all of them. So I've already shared all the previous class notes. I'm sure now it is available to you on the portal. Second.
No, sir, I'm asking about my maintenance of notes for my clarification of during my examination.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Hear me out. So the notes which I'm sharing with you, that is a type of example of how you have to prepare your notes. So you should prepare the concept notes, because like this chapter, we just saw what are the type of questions asked. The questions are asked by giving you example and asking you what is the place of supply for this transaction. So when you prepare notes like what I have done, it will help you in remembering that, okay, for GTA service, this is the rule for place of supply. For transfer, for your telecom service, this is the rule. For immovable property service, this is the rule. So once you are able to recall or remember the provisions in that fashion, you will be able to answer the questions that we just saw.
So
So-
my question is, for example, accounting subject, we need to follow practical sums in one note, and the concept we wrote in
But
another note.
that
For
you
that,
follow for every subject. You should follow that for every subject.
okay. So GST also we have
But
problems,
yes,
numbering problems.
you can make exception to GST because GST number of problems are very less because there are only 2 chapters where you have practical sums. So maybe for
Okay, sir.
GST, you may not make a separate book for practical because there are only 2 chapters having practicals.
Okay, sir. Understood. Most of most of the concept is only theoretical concept.
Yes,
Correct,
yes,
sir.
yes. Like how we
Yes,
discussed
sir.
this one chapter,
Understood.
this chapters.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Yes, Beta Gaurav, you can make chat notes. Whatever helps you in remembering, you have to follow that. Right? The 2 chapters, Manisha, are valuation and ITC. These are the 2 chapters where you get practical questions. Valuation and input tax credit. Fine. So students, thank you very much. Let us conclude. It was great discussing with you various scenarios, taking your inputs, answering your queries. So let us connect again for the next class, which is on exemption. Thank you. Thank you very much.